This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you.
Hey guys, it's me Travis with PlayerProps.ai. This is what we're looking at for Thursday, Christmas NFL. There are 3 games on NFL Christmas on Thursday, and so what we have here is 1 p.m. of 4:30 to 8:15. So typically we only have one game we're talking about for Thursday Night Football, but guess what? It's Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, I feel like we should change this up a little bit beyond the norm. So let's get into our festive Christmas spirit. Okay, now that that is done, let's find ourselves a game or a play for Christmas. So yeah, we're just gonna do what we always do. We're gonna go and we're gonna make sure we're not looking at baby lines. We always start with NFL receiving yards. Remove baby lines, and we typically only get a few, like, I think the last time we did this, we only had like 2 players that were not baby lined, but because we have 3 games, we have a good selection here. So what I'm going to do first, what I always do, and what you should always do, is pay attention to the defensive matchups. We already know that there are no baby lines here because we already filtered it out. I realize that this is not the most optimal thing to talk out of. Ugh! There we go. So let's find something we like. Look at the defensive matchups. So right now we always start with targeting overs. So we're looking for green, red, orange, green, red, green, red, and then we have green, and green. So there are 2 matchups that are green for passing yards and receiving yards. The Detroit Lions have allowed the 8th most passing yards this season and the 1st most passing yards out of every team in the NFL the last 3 games. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys. They've allowed the most passing yards out of anybody this season and still have allowed a ton the last 3 games, 4th overall. So both of these teams, Detroit is the most passing yards in the last 3, and Dallas is the most passing yards this season. So, factoring that in, these are 2 different games, Minnesota and Washington. So we're essentially going to filter out Denver and Kansas City. And I don't know if I would touch anything on Kansas City because they're on their 3rd-string quarterback. Mahomes tore his ACL. Gardner Minshew, I believe. I don't know if it's officially official, but I believe he also tore his ACL or something. So they're on their 3rd string. But anyway, we're looking at these 2 games because these 2 games have a green matchup. Now, it's also important to note that Minnesota, there's only one team in the NFL. Look, you see how this is 31-31? There's only one team in the NFL that has allowed fewer passing yards than Minnesota this season and in the last 3. They have a super elite stout pass defense. So what we're logging in the back of our head as we're going through all of these things that I teach you to do every single day, you have to be learning. You have to be taking mental notes or even physical, literal notes. Open up your notepad on your phone and be like, hey, okay, so when he did this, he said this, and then he did this. If you're not actually learning the process, you're not going to be successful. This video is not to provide you a fish. This video is to teach you how to fish. If you're not learning how to fish, you won't be successful. I mentioned this on past handful of episodes. 99% of people that bet on sports will lose money. The only chance that you have of being part of that elite 1% who can profit month over month is by applying yourself. At minimum, do what we call the bare minimum. Anywho, so we're looking for a Minnesota receiving option or a Washington receiving option because that's the green matchup. So the top Minnesota receiving option based on percentage difference is Jordan Addison, but the problem is that there is no, what is that, 2.2 yards? I should have trimmed my mustache before I got to this point. So I know, because this is the top Minnesota option, because we know that's sorted by percentage difference here, that we're not going to be targeting a Minnesota receiving option because there's no difference for the guy that's in the top. We go down one more, and we have the top Washington receiving option based on percentage difference. It's only 1.5. So even though we have two cupcake defensive matchups, we aren't going to be versing anybody or playing anybody that's a receiving option for them. We can still look at passing options, but I do want to see if there's anything sexy for... I'm going to click all here to unfilter those games. I want to see if there's anything sexy for the red-red matchups. So, the red-red matchup, which was Minnesota's elite pass defense, that I just mentioned before, the biggest percentage difference on the under is Amon-Ra St. Brown, a.k.a. Sun God. But again, there's almost no difference between his line and his projection, so we can't even target him for receiving option. So, I don't think this show is going to be a receiving option. So let's now go back. We're going to filter those two games. We're going to remove the minimum line, and we're going to go to passing yards here. Okay, Washington doesn't know who they're starting because Marcus Mariota is out. Or not, he got hurt. And then the third string Washington quarterback got to play. So I don't think... Let me see if there's another... Yeah. I don't think any sportsbook knows who's going to quarterback that. But then again, it's also Washington. And it doesn't really matter who... I clicked the wrong thing. It doesn't matter who is starting for Washington. They're probably going to suck even though they have a cupcake defense matchup. So we probably can just rule that out. And I think the same thing goes for Minnesota. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is 100% healthy. Yeah, I'm going through all of the different sports books. It doesn't seem like anybody has a line for him. I'm just going to triple check I'm going to pull up the the DraftKings and FanDuel app, even though I know that if we don't show it on the app, then the sportsbooks don't offer it. But I'm curious if there's any placeholders. I go to passing props, and yeah, it's literally just only Goff. So that's something to pay attention to when they finally announce. I mean, we record this on Tuesday, so when they finally announce who's starting, remember, write that down. When they announce the official starter, go back and check on passing yards. We know that we're not in love with the receiving yard options, but because both of those quarterbacks, even though they're going to be possibly second and third string quarterbacks, they have such a cupcake matchup. I feel like their line may be relatively low because of that, and because their line is low and they have a cupcake matchup, they're probably still going to lose the game. So they get a lot of garbage time passing yards at the end of the fourth quarter. So that's something we'll talk about in Discord. So make sure that you are in the Discord, which, again, Santa says there are no excuses for not being in that. So, no passing yards tentatively at the moment because we don't know who's starting. No receiving yard options. So we're going to go to a different stat. Let's see what the defensive matchups are for rushing yards. If you listened to anything we said this week, you made a ton of money. Our Thursday night hit, our Sunday night hit, and our Monday night hit. We had yesterday, I recorded the video for yesterday on yesterday, which normally doesn't happen with Monday Night Football. And we did, the Jonathan Taylor was not going to rush for 100 yards. And guess what? He didn't even rush for 50. We easily crushed that one. It pays it pays to pay attention. Why did we lock that in? Well, go back and watch the video of me talking about it and you'll understand. So, quickly scrolling, looking at any kind of great matchups. The only things of note is that Washington has a very, very soft rush defense. And then I see here that Denver has a very, very stout rush defense. There's only one team in the NFL that has allowed fewer rushing yards this season than the Broncos, and also one team that's allowed fewer rushing yards than the Broncos in the last 3 games. But the best rushing attack for Dallas is Javonte Williams. We haven't even filtered out any of the props yet, but we already know, like, any of the baby lines or anything. But going into Javonte, like, the projection is less than the line, so it doesn't. If it doesn't check all the boxes, then we don't bet it. Something that I feel like majority of people out there that aren't in our Discord, that aren't listening to the words that come out of my mouth, they think there's only two options with betting. You either go one way or you go the other way. And there's three. You go one way if it makes enough sense to go that way. You go the other way if it makes enough sense to go that way. And if it doesn't make enough sense to go either way, third option, you fade it. Stop betting on things that you don't have conviction on. Because I don't like one play doesn't mean, oh, Santa said we're not going to go over. So that means we have to go under, right? No, don't do that. It's stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying it's a very stupid decision. But let's look at the Denver game, because that Denver has that stout defense. I mean, the two Kansas City running backs, they both have projection that's slightly over their line, but both of their lines are also baby lines. So there's a bunch of conflict, aka no touchy. So we don't have a rushing yard play. By the time the show's done recording, we're not going to know who's starting for Minnesota or for Washington. So we continue on. Let's do passing touchdowns. It's pretty juicy, minus 210. I don't think we want to do that. You also have to factor in this is week 17 of 18. There are teams that are still fighting for playoff seeding or just to get in the playoffs in general. The Detroit Lions are on the outside looking in. They need miracles to happen, but what they first need to do is they need to beat Minnesota. Regardless if Minnesota starts J.J. McCarthy or not, even with their Minnesota's pretty decent defense, I want to say that Detroit still pulls out this win. Detroit, they're just a better team than Minnesota. And the fact that Detroit has the record they have is mind-blowing. They have an extremely potent offense, when everybody's healthy anyway. But the problem is, their defense is very, very squishy. They can't stop people from scoring. So yeah, out of all three games, we only have projections and lines available for three, because we don't know who's starting. Again, for Washington, we don't know who's starting for Minnesota, and we don't know who's starting for Kansas City officially, even though we probably do, because I think Gardner Minshew definitely tore his ACL. Passing touchdowns is not the play. I'm not a huge anytime touchdown fan. Not for the show anyway. I'm just curious. No, not gonna do anytime touchdown. So I do want to stress that, like, I try to teach this to you guys, and I feel like there's a lot of people that still don't understand the logic. It is not smart to bet on minus 200 touchdowns. If you, let's just say, I don't want to say guess, because you never should be betting on guessing. If your conviction and the projections and all the dots, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, that this person's definitely should get into the end zone. If you get that right, it's the same as getting a goal in soccer or a goal in hockey right. It's the same as getting a home run pick right. If you get one of these scoring things correct, you want to at minimum double up your amount of money you're going to make. Double up means it's a plus 100 odds or better. So plus 100, plus 105, plus 200, etc. And we talked about this in the Sunday live show, where if you filter out any negative odds, the number one projection for anytime touchdown Sunday that more than doubled up your money was T. Higgins. And of course, he easily cashed for us. So It's just not like, when it gets this crazy, it's stupid. Like, if you actually get Gibbs to get into the end zone, you'd be like, yeah, Gibbs hit. But at the same time, does it even matter? Like, the amount of profit you make, it doesn't even matter. But if he doesn't get into the end zone, you risked money to barely win profit, and you didn't even win the barely win profit. So, again, never, ever, ever bet anytime touchdown that's super juiced like this. Anywho, I'm going to keep looking at stuff here. It does kind of suck that we don't know about the status of 3 quarterbacks officially. But I'm going to see if we can find something we like. So this is pass attempts. Dating back to Kansas City on 10-12, he has not had less than 29 except for his Green Bay game here. 54 pass attempts is crazy. That game went to the wire. Detroit is going to be doing everything in their power to not be officially eliminated in this game. And because they are... What's the first game? Both these teams are eliminated. So yeah, it's not like there's a game that happens before the Detroit game for week 17 that could eliminate Detroit before they play. They're the second game of the week, and this has no effect on them better or worse odds for the playoffs. So they're still going to play with the same grit because there's nobody that could eliminate them beforehand. So they're still technically active in playoff hope contention, even if it's a very, very, very small margin. It's like 5% chance. So with that being said, I think it's important that we look at the team tools to see... Okay, so Dallas is minus 305 to win against Washington. We're not betting that, but the AI is like, yeah, that makes sense. The AI is pretty close with this one as well, that Denver's going to win by a lot because, of course, Kansas City is on their third quarterback. But this is what I wanted to look at. So Detroit, the sportsbooks give Detroit, because that's what this means, the minus 250. The sportsbooks give Detroit a 72% implied chance to win, and the AI is like, I mean, they're probably going to win, but it's not going to be by that much of a chance. 66%, not 72, which is why this is red, which means we don't bet on any of the money lines, which of course means that they believe that Minnesota is going to cover the spread, which is what we see here. So Detroit's favored to win by a touchdown, or to cover to win by -6. And the AI is like, this is probably going to be a closer game. And I feel like... Let's see what the different... So it looks like BetMGM is the only one that has Jared Goff pass attempts. At the moment, anyway. Because this is a blowout potential, I feel like Bo Nix is not going to have to pass a lot to win this game. Because both these teams are eliminated, I don't know what the teams are going to want to do. Maybe Dallas wins for bragging rights. But this is the only game. I mean, Denver still wants good seeding, but I don't think they're going to have an issue with Kansas City on their third quarterback. Like, they're going to win by they're definitely going to win by more than a touchdown. Double-digit win there. So this is the only team that has not been eliminated from playoff contention. And you want to back a team or players on a team that have something to play for. I'm just going to look at all the stats here. Super juicy number here. I don't think we've ever done a kicking prop for the show before. I can't say it's something we're going to do now. Marcus Mariota is questionable. Let me actually do that real quick. Let me look at these rosters. Man, pretty sure Aaron Jones and TJ is going to play, but we don't know about JJ. I'm not a huge fan of the longest reception prop, especially when it gets in the mid-20s, because you essentially are betting on two things to happen. One, that the person's route running skill is going to exceed that of the defender covering them. Actually, betting on three things. There's their route running skill. There's, well, probably four things. Route running skill, speed, quarterback awareness and paying attention, and also, like, is the defender going to screw up and allow the person to get open or whatever, or the defender's ball hawking skills or defensive pursuit are so subpar that the person can get open and catch the ball. Like, I understand that, like, the head-to-head, like, all this stuff is green and the projection has over on both of these, but, like, I feel like there's so many things that have to go right for a player to get 26, 27-yard receptions. Longest rush, pass completions we haven't looked at yet. I hope you're picking up on what I'm putting down here while I keep going through different stats. I think I just got some beard in my eyeball. Maybe that's from my hat. I don't even know. But I hope that you're picking up what I'm putting down on the fact that we're not going to force the play to force the play. We're going to keep going until we find something that we actually like. That's just what we're going to do. Trying to think from a strategy point, what's more likely to happen? For somebody to hit their pass completions or their passing attempts number. So he's got a 9.2 difference. So he's got 32.5 pass attempts. %. Let's just do both. Okay. So now I can look at his pass completions here and his pass attempts here. Like I would never do both. It's crazy that pass attempts. .47 the last game, but again, he was playing a better team than Kansas City on their third quarterback. So, I have an idea, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my idea. This is what Santa's thinking for Christmas NFL. What Santa's thinking is, for those who have, on the naughty and nice list, for those who've been nice, which means they have helped themselves by doing the bare minimum. They've subscribed to the YouTube channel. They turned notifications on. They downloaded the free version of the PlayerProps.ai app and got into the free Discord. That's part of it. We got something special for those that have been nice. Now, if you've been naughty and you've been doing the absolute least, which means pretty much nothing, and expecting success by just blatantly ignoring everything we've been teaching you, this is not for you. You should stop watching now. But for those people who actually are doing everything in their power to win more and lose less, and following the guidelines, which are undefeated, 100% of people who follow the guidelines curb their losses. And the fact that there's a 100% success rate on that, and you're still like, I don't know if this is going to work for me. You know how crazy that sounds? Why would you be the first person on planet Earth that the guidelines don't work for? They work for everyone. But for the people who've been nice, I think we're going to do one from each of the games. This is not me telling you. Santa's not saying, hey, psychopaths, do a 3-pick parlay. We're doing a single from each of these games. And I think we're focusing on the quarterbacks for each one. We just have to figure out, do we want to do completions or pass attempts? So, if you look at Bo Nix here, what is more likely to happen? Him getting 34 pass attempts or him getting 22 completions? And yes, you can say that Kansas City has a stout... Actually... Let's go to rushing yards one more time. So Kansas City's got an okay rush defense. So if you want to target somebody with passing attempts or completions, you want to target somebody that's versing a somewhat decent rush defense. I wish we had Kansas City quarterback here because that's what I would target. That's what I would look at in this situation. But yeah, Denver's versing a decent defense for rushing. So we want to look at Bo Nix passing or completions. Minnesota's not an amazing rush defense. They're decent pass defense. So maybe Goff attempts because the completions may be down because the Minnesota pass defense is pretty decent. Okay. Oh, I know what we haven't done yet. We're like a good chunk of time into this, and we haven't pulled up the cheat sheet from the Discord. I'm not going to pull it up on screen because I didn't set that up ahead of time. But let me... Actually, I'll do it here. See JJ McCarthy on the completions there. JJ McCarthy projected over interceptions. We don't know if he's playing or not, though. Is there any player playing that's on the pass attempts? No. JJ McCarthy's he's all over the place. Completions. So we don't have... Okay. So the only... we had a Bo Nix here. But he's not projected to go under, so we can't use that. This is a problem that a handful of you have. When you see this doesn't mean that we're going under all of these players and over all these players. This just means you compare it with what the AI is saying. So let's look at Bo Nix, for example, on completions. So Bonix completions. You see how the projection is higher than the completions line, which is why it says plus 5.6. You're like, okay, well, technically speaking, I know he's over here now, I just see that. But if you see over here, this is only when the AI has a lower projection than what the sportsbooks are offering for his line. Because we have Bonix here, the AI is projecting over for the line. Bonix hits at a 75% rate whenever the AI projects over. Projects over. You have to pay attention to the app. You can't just look at this and blindly bet these people. So Bonix is projected over for pass completions. So that is our play for this game. And I know the sportsbooks favor the under, but it's barely. Like minus 105 means they barely favor the under. So for the nighttime game, Bonix over 21.5. But we're going to see if we can find that better line somewhere else. There's no Dak Prescott. There's no Jared Goff on any of these, right? Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. Nope. Okay. Checking some other stuff here. I'm gonna go to receiving yards real quick. Give me a second. What did Justin Jefferson have? Oh, he was over, so that doesn't work. I saw Justin Jefferson right here. But again, if the AI has him over, then it doesn't matter if he's in this list. CeeDee Lamb is hitting 100% of the times the AI is projected the over, and George Pickens is hitting at least 75%. Washington's had a squishy defense a whole entire season, but for whatever reason, they've been pretty stout the last three. But when you see something highlighted green on this cheat sheet, and this is something that everybody in the premium Discord has access to. So the sportsbooks are projecting over. Anybody in this list is hitting at least 75%. Because he's highlighted green, he's hitting at 100%, and you know that everybody just made a ton of money last night for doing Alec Pierce. He was hitting at 100%, and then I think like Stephanie like laddered him where she hit like the original baby line, and then she hit all this ladder stuff as well. So he technically was a baby line, so a lot of people probably didn't play him, but he was on this list, and if you did because of this list, then made a little chunk of change. So, CeeDee Lamb 100%. Is there anybody else playing in these games that's hitting at 100%? David Montgomery under receptions? So, we're trying to get one from each play. I think we're doing Bonix over completions. We got to figure out the best line first. CeeDee Lamb over receiving yards. Got to find the best line first. And I know they've been stout the last three, but they have been pretty squishy over the course of the season. So that is one from this game, which means we just need to find something for Detroit, Minnesota. And we just saw that Demont here is hitting 100% of the time. The AI projects less than receptions. So I'm kind of curious. Even if he has a baby line, maybe it will be, he doesn't even have a line. He's not even, he doesn't even have a line. Okay, so we can't do that one. Actually, let's change the book real quick. Is there Demont receptions anywhere? No. Go to FanDuel. Nope, no book has a line for Demont, so we can't do that one. So we're looking for Minnesota or Detroit. Is there anybody else that's hitting 100% here for any of these? Dave Montgomery's hitting 75% whenever the AI projects under for his rushing yards. Does he have a rushing yards line? Probably a baby line, but nope, AI projects over, so we can't use that stat. I'm surprised he doesn't have... Yeah, he just has rushing yards line available right now. So, I think what we're going to do... Pretty much anytime the AI hates JJ McCarthy, which I'm sure we all do at this point, we've made a lot of money. If he's under completions, he's hitting at 75%. If the projection's less than the line. If his interception projection is higher than the line, so if the projection is higher than 0.5, he's hitting at over 75%. What was the other one? If his passing yards projection is less than the line, he's hitting at 75%. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens with that line. We're going to target JJ, but we have to see if he's healthy first. So, ladies and gentlemen, we made it to the end. It's Santa time. Let's do a quick recap for you on what Santa says for all 3 games. So tomorrow, there's another special Christmas gift. Recording this on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to have a little something special for you guys. Okay, so we're doing 77.5 for CD. DraftKings, BetMGM have the same line. It was pass attempts, right? That's what Bo Nix... Completions. Oh no, completions. AI likes the over. We're not doing this because AI does not like the under. AI likes the over, but he's still here. That just means the AI like perfectly predicts Bo Nix regardless of the side. So we're doing not attempts, we're doing completions. 21.5 BetMGM. And yes, we know that the sportsbooks favor the under, but this is just something we're going to do. You can do little things different. That it doesn't always, well, I want to say, it should always check all the boxes, but when you find something that doesn't check all the boxes, that just means bet less on it. So whatever you normally do for a bet that checks all the boxes following the 20-80-20 rule, you're just going to bet less. If you don't love something as much, you don't bet as much. So 21.5, what was it? 77.5 for CD. 77. And then we don't have Viking stuff. But this is something, we're going to follow up with you guys in Discord. So make sure you're in the Discord for the 4:30 p.m. game of Detroit, Minnesota, because we want to see first, JJ's got to be playing and healthy. And if he is, which side does the AI like? Does it like his under completions or his over interceptions or his under passing yards? Because he's hitting at 75% hit rate on those 3 only when the AI likes that side. So that's going to be an asterisk. We're going to follow up. So we got 2 that we're going to be rocking and rolling with, one for each of these 2, first game and last game. And then for this one, we'll keep tabs on JJ's status in the Discord. So ladies and gentlemen, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you're not in the Discord, betting should not happen for you in 2026. I'm not being sarcastic. If you look back at how much money you lost in 2025, if the number is higher than 0, you need to tweak some things. I understand betting is fun and having action on games is fun, but if you're losing money, Losing money is not fun. We help you learn what you've been doing wrong, how to do it right, how to approach things differently. I mean, we've grown an insane amount in 2025. We are the most awarded betting research app in the entire planet. That's not just like the United States. Like, we found out like it's the entire planet. There's no other betting research app on planet Earth in 2025 that has won more awards or been shortlisted for more awards in the industry than we have. So there's a reason for that, because we do things differently. We don't just sell the sex that sells, which what everybody else does. Hey, look at this parlay here and turn $5 into $2,500. And then you're like, I keep losing these $5 bets because the odds to turn into $2,500 are so low that I've lost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars this year chasing the sex that sells that everybody's pushing out. We do things differently. We focus on curbing your losses so you can actually finish 2026 on top in the green and not in the red, like you may have been doing every single year up to this point. But you found out about PlayerProps.ai. Whether you found out about this YouTube video first, the app first, the Discord first, however you came across, you already did the hardest part. The hardest part is finding out we exist. The easy part is just listening to the words that come out of my mouth. If you're like, oh man, I'm using this app, I don't know how to use it, that means you're doing two things wrong. There's two things you're missing. The first thing is there's this glowing white button that says how to use the app. When you click on that, it'll teach you how to use the app. The second thing is, if you need help, you got to ask for it. I don't know you need help if you don't ask for it. If you're in the Discord, if you're using the app, I assume that you're doing well because I haven't heard from you. If you're not understanding things, that's why we have a Discord that you have to join, because there's 100% no excuses. I don't care if you don't have a Discord account. I don't care if you don't have the Discord app on your phone. If you want 2026 to be in the green, you're going to get in the gosh dang Discord, because everybody that is, and everybody that's following the guidelines, they are losing less often. And that is your goal. That is your New Year's resolution. Get in the gosh dang Discord. We'll see you there. Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays.